Welcome back. Well, last week we took care of that radiator and got it all fixed up nice. Got a couple new hoses made up through the week for the cooling lines. Today we're going to concentrate on the power steering pump. We're going to clean up this whole area, try to see if we can figure out where the leak is coming from. Just because there's so much oil caked and dirt caked down in here, I'm sure all it is just one of the seals are leaking. So we'll probably pull off the fan, the engine fan. It's attached directly to the water pump on this unit. And the pump actually feels fine, the bearing's tight. When I spin the fan, it actually starts pumping antifreeze out of the engine, the stuff that's left in the block, so that's good. But anyway, so we'll take the fan off and start chipping away at all the dirt and crud that's around this thing. Now another thing, through the week I did stop in here quickly and pull off the water pump belt and the power steering belt to get them matched up. One was in stock and the other one I just have to wait for it to come in. So anyway, I thought I'd give you just a better look of what we're dealing with here. We just want to clean up all this crap down inside here. It's caked on pretty good. We'll pull this fan off, get it out of the way, and just give it a really good cleaning. I want to check all the seals on all these plugs. Then I brought my electric drill today. I think I'm going to make an adapter to put on the end of this pulley, and we'll get it spinning to see if we can actually get some fluid circulating through this thing. Because then I can take the lines, I run back here to the main pump, or the steering box I should say, sorry, and take them off and stick them in a bucket of fluid to see if I can get it circulating, at least get it flushed out. I'm having a little bit of an issue finding this filter that's inside here. I'm sure there is an aftermarket one or cross, but I can't find it at the moment. The number that is in the original parts manual, when I punch that into the parts search, comes up as a good number, but comes up as no location available anywhere that I can find. Maybe I'll see if I can cross it through a fleet guard. They seem to be good at crossing all numbers for case tractors. So anyway, we'll get on cleaning that. These are the two hoses that I got made up through the week for the rad. This was the original one that you saw in the video that popped a hole in it. And this is the other side that was still good, but it was looking old. Plus I got it all apart. And I decided to put this nice elbow on the end here. There was such a bend in that other hose, I'm surprised that it didn't rub through on the frame, because they actually had a piece of rubber stuck around the hose to stop the chafing. So I'm going to try this long 90-degree bend and see if that makes it better for fitting in there, and also so I don't have to put a piece of rubber around it. Well, it should make it a little easier to work on, and also help stop some bits and pieces of crap falling down inside things when I'm working on them. But as clean as we're going to get for now. Should get a good pressure washing and scrubbing once we have this all back together and running before we put the cowl in the front of it. So now I'm interested to open this up and see what's inside. Oh. Dry as a bone in there. Clean? And what do you know? It's a washable filter. So here's what we're looking at in here. So the fluid, it is empty. And this is definitely not the original filter, I don't think. But this is a washable screen. And other than the fact that it's got a lot of debris in it, I'm actually impressed. It's pretty clean inside there. So I just have to pull this filter out, take it to the parts washer, some Varsol, and try to clean all those bits out. Here we are, all cleaned up. It's a nice little stainless steel washable filter. I don't know if this is original equipment or not. Parts diagram appears to make it look like an element, like a paper element that's replaced. And some of the videos I've watched online, guys are actually pulling out paper elements. So I don't know if this is an aftermarket thing or was an option at the time, but that's really handy. Inside here, she's looking pretty clean. I don't know, I have to take a look at the book. It just smells like 1540 engine oil that's in here. But if I turn the pump, I can hear it gurgling. It's trying to push fluid. So I'm going to take a quick look at the manual and see if this is, if indeed it is 1540 engine oil. Because if it is, we'll fill this up a little bit more and see if we can get it moving. Well, I just consulted the old manual, and for bleeding the system, and it gives you all the steps and directions, but it does state to use automatic transmission fluid. Now, I guarantee this is not transmission fluid. I know it's 1540 oil. I don't know if that's good or bad, or if it was okay at the time when switched over, but it is clean in here. So I am going to put 1540 oil back in here because I'm positive that's what it is, and we'll give it a try to see if we can get some fluid moving. Sorry about the light here. As always, so dark in this corner, but it's for use of a shop, so what do you do? take what you got. Anyway, so put a little oil in here. Just gonna turn this pump and see what we got happening. Oh, we got air bleeding out. Oh, and we're getting stiffer too. We might be moving fluid. We are moving fluid. I can see the level going down. And there it comes out. Look at that. It is a little dirty. What do you expect after being 60 years old? Some more air. Oh, it's starting to get quite stiff. I guess it's probably working through the bypass on the gearbox itself. The pump gearbox is probably... Oh, I can almost barely turn it now. What's going on here? Oh, goes back the other way pretty easy. And I can see it pulling fluid back in the other direction. And here it goes the other way. Alright, I'm gonna turn the camera off. I need two hands here. And I can't really get in here with my tripod, but I'm gonna work at this because I think I'm making progress. Oh yeah, we're moving fluid now. I think that's the last of the air. Perfect. I am 97.7% sure that I have power steering now. The resistance going through the system, once all that air finally came out, is good. I could hear the bubbles coming, and did twitch the box there for a second. So I guess the last thing we do is when I actually get the engine running again, is to move the steering wheel and get the air that might be in the cylinder itself. We know the lines from the reservoir and pump back to the steering box are full, but from the steering box to the actual cylinder, there could still be air trapped in that system. Now this is it's a little bit wet, but not a lot, and I don't see any drips coming out of here yet. But when this is turns clockwise, it pulls the fuel or the oil down the center of that filter, travels around over into the gearbox here, the hydraulic side, and then back out and back into the reservoir through the filter. When you turn the steering wheel, it must be like almost like a sequencing valve or an inching valve, and the more you turn it, it redirects the oil into the cylinder, either on the top or bottom of it, moving the cylinder in and out, which is attached to this cam, which attaches to the wheels. Now I'm not an expert by no means on this system, but that's the gist of how it works. So now I'm going to put the filter back in and the spring and the hold down, put this back together. The one thing, I don't know if you noticed when I was cleaning this, but I did notice, it's kind of a pain in the butt. This has a dipstick to check for fluid level, which is great, except for the bolt holes off center, which puts the cap directly underneath the thermostat housing and there's no way to get it off. There was not even a 1/4 inch distance. So I don't know what kind of genius come up with that idea. I don't know if there's a way I can turn this whole bowl. I'm gonna look at doing that, see if I can turn the whole bowl. It only has to go a 1/4 turn, but some engineer wasn't thinking very good when he designed this system, because once this cap goes on, there's no way to get that filler cap out to check the fluid level. So play around with that for a bit and I'll get it back on. So we're all back together, and I was actually able to turn this whole unit just about that much that way, just like that, which is enough to get the bump of this away from the bottom of this tube. Now, of course, it will be thicker when the hose goes on, but this was the issue. So I was able to turn this whole thing, not a 1/4 turn, maybe only a 1/16 or maybe an 1/8 actually, and it's enough that if I open this up, it just passes by. And you can see I am at the full level for now, until we bleed the air out of that cylinder. So there we have it. Serviced our power steering. I'm confident that it will work. It's building good pressure. I know my drill is only turning about 600 or 800 RPMs, which is only an idle for this tractor, so it's definitely not putting a load on it, but I don't see any major leaks at the moment. It might be that it just weeped over the years, or just sitting that long it leaked out over the years. But anyway, I'm going to call this part of the project done. Good morning, and we'll catch you on the flip side.